I'm Daniel Jay, and you're watching JayeSpotTV right here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave your comments down below so that I can know what you think. And as always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Daniel Jay.
A true dream, a dream of a lifetime. A real life, a righteous life, the best we can find. A real dream, a true dream, a dream of a lifetime. A real life.
What's going on, J-Scribers? It is time for another review by me on R&B Divas of LA. I know that I missed a week last week about the Divalogs, but I mean, it wasn't a lot going on. We knew that they were going to do the show. Don and Kelly weren't even a part of the episode. I will say that it was an awesome show. I was very surprised. Michel'le definitely gave me the comedic relief, but she was really good. Like, she really surprised me. But I'm really going to be talking about the reunion special part 1 with a fabulous host, Miss Wendy Williams. So let's get into it. Right from the jump off, Wendy goes in on Miss Dawn Robinson. Why? Because Miss Thing is nowhere to be found in this reunion special. She wants to know what's the tea because the streets are talking. And Kelly Price is like, well, you know what? I tried to call her. I really called her yesterday. I thought that she would come, but obviously not. Lil Mo was like, she fraudulent. She weak. She's a coward. And Wendy Williams, I was like, you know, I'm disappointed as a fan because I'm watching, hoping that she's, you know, going to be here so that she could talk on her behalf. And she's not even here. She's weak. That's what you're telling me, Little Mo? She's weak, and the consensus was, Don, you're weak. If you know you got 6 women that are supposed to be at a reunion, baby, hold them checks, hold them coins, so that they can be there, because I wish that she would have just been there to speak on her behalf, to talk to the fans and talk to the people, and clear up some things that we might have been unaware of due to editing and whatever not. And I think that it was a cowardly move, like Little Mo said. I wish that she would have been there, but on the flip side of it, I really don't expect much from her anyway, given how she acted on the season and what we saw during the other episodes. This is classic Don. Overall, the reunion was really, really good. We jumped around a lot. We started off with Michel'le's voice and why she talks like that, and she was just like, well, I speak over my lyrics, and you just like people from other countries. They sing with a perfect, regular English, and then they talk with accents like it's the same thing. And when he was like, well, child, has anybody ever approached you about getting that fixed? And she was like, no, I don't want to get that fixed because my voice has been very good to me. So go ahead, Michel'le. I mean, apparently she was just born that way. It is what it is. It's her voice. I know a lot of you guys don't like it. I personally love her voice. I think it gives her character, and it accentuates her bubbly personality, and her just kind of tell it like it is when she says some things in that voice. It's just funny to me. I love it. We got on to Claudette's situation. Wendy Williams, you know, I will give this. Wendy Williams, you know how to dig, baby. You know how to get into that and get into it and pull out what we all know is on our minds and what we want to ask, but we not that ass. And she was basically like, Claudette, so you was a hoe. You dated both the people in your group, and Claudette was like, hold on. First of all, it was not like that. I was 16 when I dated Mr. Robbie, and it was years later before I even started dating Ryan and got married to Ryan and had Ryan's children. She did clarify she doesn't have any children with Rob. But my thing is, look, we're not saying that she was a hoe like the question kind of implied, but facts are facts. You did date both of these guys, and you married one, had children, and it is what it is. But I see how she was trying to be like, you know, well, hold up, don't paint no dirty picture of me, because that's not the case. But the question was, you were with both of them, and the answer is yeah. After Claudette's little baby but daddy drama, we moved back over to Michel'le, and honey, Michel'le, baby, I was dying at what she had to say about dating Suge Knight and dating Dr. Dre and having a kid by both. But when Miss Thing said that she did not know you could not get married over the phone, that you actually had to have a preacher man present to go ahead and take them nuptials, I hollered along with everybody else on that cast. Like, really, Michel'le? Is that really what you just thought? Well, I mean, I wanted to know what that conversation was like. Like, he was on the phone like, so yeah, you want to be my wife? And you was like, yes, I do. I want to be your girl. And he was like, all right, we married. Like, how does that even go down? But anyway, I'm sure the rest of America was like, is she stupid? Because I sure was sitting there going like, what the hell? What in the Sam hell do you think is going on that you think you can get married over the phone? Who thinks like that? Whatever. And then she went on to talk about how, the IRS and the FBI and all these other people was telling her that she wasn't really married. Well, duh, your nigga was in jail, baby. Wendy was like, I can't, and I was like, Wendy, I agree. Baby drama is over, and we move on to Miss Lie Till You Die Price. Wendy asks about the whole sunglasses thing and how Kelly Price spent most of her season in sunglasses. And so Kelly goes on to say that all of her glasses have prescription in them. Like she has tinted glasses and she got regular glasses. And she drives in the tinted ones, and when she forgets her regular prescription glasses, for reading or whatever, that she has to stay with the tinted ones on because she can't see. Now, here's my question. The meeting that you had with Lil Mo and Shantae, you mean to tell me that you can't sit yourself across from a table and tell that across the table that's Lil Mo and Shantae Moore? Like, I really have a problem with that. And then she said that she didn't wear the contact lenses because they were messing up her sinuses. Okay, I understand. I can kind of understand that. But if you wear glasses so much and your prescription is so, like, your eyes are that bad, what the hell were your glasses in every other scene? Or did you have on those contacts that made your sinuses mess up? Like, I'm really having a problem. Are your glasses in this reunion? Do you have on contacts today? This is the type of stuff where, Kelly wants to talk about how her real, quote-unquote, fans are the people that hold her accountable. Well, baby, and how the ones that are not fans are just saying mean-spirited things to her. My thing is this. You gotta say something to me that makes some sense. Now, there are some interviews with her. She's on See Nikki YouTube channel. She interviewed with Kelly Price, and Kelly Price kind of talks about the behind the scenes that went on, and what her experience was with the Divas. And I thought that it was a good interview. I thought that what she had to say was very well put. But here's my problem. I know people who are able to say things in a way to make them sound good and to make other people believe them. Hell, I'm one of them. I can tell you that the sky is purple, and by the end of the conversation, you will be looking at the sky talking about, wow, it is kind of purplish. I have that ability, so I can clock that ability in other people. And I can only speak for me. I can only speak on what I've seen and what you have portrayed on the TV, what has been edited. I can only speak on what I've seen. And to me, that was just a whack excuse. Like, if your eyes are that bad, then boo-boo, where are your eyeglasses every other time we see you with no glasses on? The only time it seems that you have these tinted glasses that have your prescription are when you are in a situation where you don't really feel like confronting or looking at your other castmates that got on your nerve. So, bump that excuse. I think it was fraudulent, and I'm sticking to my guns on that. Next issue that we have is the issue of the Broadways in the Hood thing. Wendy brought that up. And again, I love Wendy Williams. I think that she was an amazing choice for a host because a Joe Claire, baby, you suck. Okay, that Atlanta's reunion was a hot, sweaty pig mess. And you just shat all over that reunion with your inability to host an interview. So shame on you, and kudos for TV One for getting a real interviewer, somebody that knows how to dig the dirt that we all want to hear. So the Broadway in the Hoods thing came up, and everybody was talking about their experience with it. Lil Mo was like, it was very unprofessional. I had to slide my little self out this van, and the little old lady in the parking lot was going to hit somebody, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. We was all trying to rush in there, and why wasn't Kelly there? And Kelly was like, well, I sent them all a message. And, they knew that I was in Vegas and that I had to leave. And, I don't want to go down on the record like I just left them out to dry because everybody knew that I had to leave. And Shantae Moore is like, well, Wendy was like, well, Shantae Moore, has she apologized? And Shantae Moore was like, apologize for what? Like, for that day? Like, it's over. I'm over that. Like, it's so whatever. You weren't there, and it is what it is. And so, they're talking about all of these things, and Kelly pulls out a cell phone, and as you know, that's between them glasses and that damn cell phone, that's what she will be. And so, Wendy's like, excuse you, we're in the middle of a reunion, boo-boo. What are you doing? They're not disputing the fact that they knew that you had a show and that you sent them a message. The problem is it was sent too late. And then she verifies that. See, this thing I'm not understanding with Kelly, especially in this reunion, is that she's trying to say all these things like they're a matter of fact and try to prove her point, but the points that she thinks she is proving are not being proved. She said that I sent them a message as I was boarding the plane that said, thank you guys for going even though I cannot be there. I appreciate you guys doing this, yada, yada, yada. And see, that's part of the issue. The issue is you sent them a message while you were boarding the damn plane. You should have sent them a message like before that saying, guys, I'm not going to be able to be there. So if you guys want to go, that will be great. But I totally understand if you do not want to go. And apparently, the pink carpet for the event was supposed to be scheduled on a Wednesday. They moved the pink carpet to Thursday, and Kelly says that she had to leave. And Lil Mo was like, well, if they moved it on to Thursday, how come they couldn't move it up a couple of hours to get the footage with you actually being there, and then you could have caught your flight? So all of this goes back to my point about how you can say certain things to try to make people believe you. But honey, if it don't make sense to me, I can't buy that. You know, I need the proof to be in the pudding. And baby, all you are giving me are sample packets, and I need a real damn meal. Okay? Point blank and period. And then another thing that really got on my nerve was Wendy, well, it didn't get on my nerve, but it was funny. Wendy asked him, are you ladies scared of Kelly Price? And they was all like, silence. And basically gave looks like, Wendy, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody scared of Kelly. And Kelly was like, well, you know, I found some things out too. When he was like, I didn't know you were such a mean bully. And Kelly was like, well, you know, I found out some things too. And this is what gets on my nerve with Kelly in this reunion. Everything is like, you know, I didn't know. Like, I'm totally not like that. You know, like, you know, I don't know what that is. Like, oh my God, you know, it's like everything's a goddamn on surprise. Girl, take a nap. Let me give you a pillow. Let me go. Pause. Pause. I'm going to go get a pillow and a blanket. Kelly, here's a blanket and a pillow. You can officially take a nap. Moving on, we get on to Shantae Moore and her ex-husband, Kenny Lattimore's. But before I get into that, did anybody peep the ankle action that was going on with Wendy Williams? We know that chair was too damn low for Miss Wendy Glamazon, 7-foot-tall Williams. I mean, her poor ankle just looked like it was just fighting for its life to stay afloat and alive. I felt so bad for her. So next time y'all do something with Wendy, y'all make sure that you get with the people who make her chairs on her show so that her ankle ain't got to be bended out into outer space, sitting there uncomfortable. Moving on. So we get to Shantae Moore and her ex-husband, and Wendy wants to know, we all want to know, that the streets are talking, as Wendy would say, that the whole divorce was over Kenny Lattimore possibly being gay. And Shantae was just like, no, it wasn't. And Wendy was like, well, you didn't answer the first part of the question, is he gay? And she was like, you know what, that's not even for me to respond to. Truth be told, if I would have never mentioned him in the show. And I told the producers that I wouldn't mention him. But he filed papers while I was filming the show. So I talked about what was going on in my life. And I just thought that it was hilarious that all the faces that the girls gave was like, oh, she clocked your tea. And then she went over to Kelly Price and was like, well, I know you a friend of him, very close personal friend. Have you ever saw him in an embrace? And Kelly was like, no, I mean, we don't kick it like that. And this is what I don't understand. When people say this is a close personal friend, to me, a close personal friend is somebody that you kick it with on a regular. Now, if he is a close personal friend, how come the hell y'all don't really kick it on a regular? You live in that same dang on city. I understand y'all got tours and crap, but a cup of coffee, a Starbucks, a cookie, a donut, or something. I mean, lunch. I don't understand that this industry-ness of how we're such close personal friends, but I don't see you but once every 2 years. Anyway, leave your comments down below. Do you think Kenny Lattimore is gay? Do you think that's why secretly the marriage didn't work? I mean, I don't follow Kenny Lattimore like that, so I really don't know. if he is or isn't, and I really don't give a damn. I mean, to be quite honest, he's a good singer, he's a good musician. I think that what he did as far as the whole child support thing, that's ridiculous. Conversation moves over to Michel'le about why she ain't got no man, and Michel'le is ghetto. Like, Lil Mo gives me enough ratchet to love her. I said that in other videos. But Michel'le got some ghetto, she straight hood. Like, she looked at Wendy and was like, I don't got no man. So, I mean, why? You know somebody I can date? What's really going on? Hell no, don't nobody want to date me because I dated Suge Knight. And Lil Mo was like, hell, when I first met you, I was like, I don't want to deal with her because, you know, she with Suge. And Michel'le was like, you know, Mr. Knight doesn't really bother me like that. You know, he just leaves me be. He doesn't really bother me. He doesn't really do anything like that. He don't really do stuff with me. He don't bother me like that. And I was like, girl, if that's gonna be hard trying to convince a man that Suge Knight's old woman is available and they wanting to date you, I don't know how that's gonna go down. Wendy then shifts gears and she goes into Kelly Price's kind of backstory, and we all know that she was a background singer for Mariah Carey, and Wendy was like, you know, well, I don't really know how that ended. How did it end? And Kelly goes in to tell that story, but it all ties into a tweet that Kelly posted about, you know, singers basically losing their voice and not being who they used to be. She did not name the singer. Somebody else reposted it and named the singer. And Kelly was like, Wendy was like, are you talking about Mariah Carey? And she said, you know, it was just a tweet in that moment. It was a moment between me and the television. If I wanted to name the artist, I would have named the artist, but that's not important. Kelly Price, baby boo, sugar pumpkin pie. When you tweet something, I don't know if you know this, Twitter is a public forum, so therefore when you tweet something, it's not a private moment, okay? I understand that you might not have wanted to divulge who the artiste was, but you can't make stupid statements like that was a moment between me and the television at that time. If it was a moment between you and the television, boo, don't tweet it, okay? Then we get into, you know, who she's written for. And honey, I got life during this part of the reunion when she said, you know, I've written for this person, that person, I've written for Shantae Moore. And Shantae was like, what you write for me? I said, the shade, honey, the shade, the read. She said, pause in your tracks. What did you write for me? And Kelly was like, yeah, there's a song. I'm going to pull it out of my behind. Something, boom, there it is. And Shantae was like, I think that was a soundtrack. I think that was that wasn't a record. That wasn't my album, boo. That was a soundtrack. And Wendy was like, so you didn't know that she wrote for you? She said, no, I didn't know. And Wendy turns over to Kelly and says, well, did you get paid? And Kelly's like, oh yes, I got paid. And Shantae, see, this is how I love Shantae Moore. She shades you without even trying. She's like, well, I would hope so. I mean, because that was a long time ago. The life, the oxygen and the air that I received at that moment. And see, this is the type of stuff where I'd be like, people say things in a way where it gets under my skin. If it's a soundtrack that Shantae sang on, then Kelly Price, you wrote for the soundtrack. For whatever that soundtrack was part of, whatever that project was, you wrote for that project. And then they probably asked Shantae Moore to sing it. So to say that you've written for Shantae Moore, that's a bit of a stretch. And I think kind of that's where Shantae was coming from when she said, you know, I think that was a soundtrack. Like, if you've written for me, then you've written something on one of my albums, something that I'm doing for me. But if you've written a song that's going on a soundtrack for a movie, babe, you didn't write for me. You wrote for that movie. So get that straight, okay? Boop, pause, leave a message, but then again, I'm not trying to hear it. Now we get to the nitty-gritty of the whole reunion, the talk about the whole divalogues, monologues, blah, blah, blah. Wendy basically says, you know, do we all agree that this was Kelly's idea? And Shantae's Moore, she was like, hell no, this was not Kelly's idea. You know, we had a meeting at the Savoy. It was Kelly, me, production, and they was like, we have this idea. We want Kelly to bring it to Shantae, and then Shantae and Kelly to bring it to the girls. That's how Shantae received it, and that's basically how the rest of the ladies understood it to be. What Kelly tried to say was that before anybody's contract was signed and before anything kind of went on, production had a meeting with her months and months beforehand, and came to her and said, what do you think that you can contribute to the show? What type of project do you think that we could do? And Kelly told production, this is according to Ms. Price, that she wanted to do this monologue musical type of thing. And production took that and ran with it. My thing is we're going right back to what I said about how you word things. She said, for the record, you cannot dictate what somebody said in a meeting when they weren't a part of the meeting. The point is, your comment stands true no matter what happened. You cannot dictate what somebody is told in a meeting that they were not a part of. How do you expect for them to believe that this is your idea when apparently you were the only one in there in a meeting with production months before the show goes on, or before it even starts filming? All they know, and I'm talking about Shantae, Claudette, Michel'le, and Lil Mo, all they know is that production said to them that we have an idea. They didn't mention your name. They didn't say Kelly had an idea. They said we, us, the wizards, the producers, the people that's going to be putting on the show. We have an idea. So I think that this whole entire whose idea is it anyway game is really a matter of perception. And unfortunately, none of us are there, so we really don't know what the hell happened. And for Shantae Moore and for Lil Mo specifically, they're speaking from the truth that they know. And the truth is that production came to them and said, this is what we're going to be doing on this show. So, of course, they don't think that it's Kelly's idea because they were not privy to any other conversation outside of the one that they were a part of. Now, on Kelly's behalf, if you were a part of a conversation months before filming started, it's kind of difficult to believe you when nobody else can verify that. And I know that if Kelly Price were to look at this and she were to comment on this, she would probably get on her high horse and be like, well, for the record, I'm just going to speak the truth, and that's what it is. And you can believe what you want to believe. And you're right, we can. And I believe that production probably talked to you about doing an idea, and you took that idea and expanded on it. But at the end of the day, baby, it's a show that you do not have control over. And any type of idea that you kind of project on a show becomes the property of the show. And I'm sure that your contracts state that. Because if it were, and I feel like if it were that big a deal that Kelly Price brought this idea, then whether legally or otherwise, there would have been some steps taken to make sure that Kelly's voice had been heard and to make sure that Kelly's way had been gotten. But it didn't happen that way. So sad for you. And basically, I just feel like Kelly Price has a way of saying things that sound sensible and that sound like the truth. The problem is you don't have anybody else to really back that up. You had Don Robinson, but truth is, she probably wasn't there either. So all she's doing is jumping on your bandwagon because the two of you are friends and she's so fragile. But you don't really have anybody else in the cast that can kind of ride that bandwagon with you. So I have to go with the majority on this one, and I believe that the idea was production's, and it ended how it ended. And to be honest, the Divalogs, way better than what I saw of Don and Kelly's show on YouTube. Point blank and period. All in all, the girls did not agree that it was her idea, and Shantae just breaks it down and says, look, at the end of the day, I was upset that she kept quitting every 3 days, and she basically was trying to make it seem like it was my fault, like I'm trying to take over this show, and I'm on the train. That's exactly what she said. She said, I'm on the train. I'm not running the train, but I'm committed to being on the train. And Kelly was like, did I quit every 3 days? Like, was I quitting every 3 days? And see, this is the type of bullshit that I get upset with. You know damn well she wasn't talking about literally quitting every 3 days, but it's a figure of speech, heifer. And what she was saying was that you probably every few days or whatever, weeks or whatever, that you were always talking about threatening to quit. And even Michel'le said, you know, she wasn't even there to defend you and say, well, no, she did say, no, it wasn't every 3 days, but she then admitted she wasn't even there for that. All she was there for was when you kept on saying that you would go off and do your own show. And that's exactly what happened. So Girl, I'm gonna need you to get off your high horse with this. Did I quit every 3 days? You know, I didn't say that. Did I say that? Girl, come on. Can we be adult for real about it? Like, I'm so done with that. Anyway, this part 1 ends with them bringing out Fred, and we're just about to hear what Fred has to say, and they're like, oh, boop, gotta wait till next week. And I'm like, well, why the hell did you bring him out here then? If we gotta wait till next week to even hear him speak, why the hell did you end it with him coming out there? All in all, I loved the reunion. I cannot wait till next week because I definitely want to hear the juices and berries of this reunion, and I want to know what the purpose of with Kelly, what the purpose is with Kelly Price getting up and getting everybody's face, and why Shantae walked off. Like, cause you know, I want to know what that's all about. Cause honey, Lil Mo was just sitting there looking at her like, okay, is this an exercise? Because knowing Lil Mo, she probably her little self would have got up and popped you if it was some realness. But I'm assuming that it's probably an exercise of some sort. Well, I'm getting ready to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below, and remember, go to onthejayspot.com for info on blogs, videos from JayeSpotTV, and of course, the talk show. We have just added a new feature on the website. If you guys want to get some of the archived shows that we've done in past seasons, this is our 4th season. So if you want any of the shows from the last 3 seasons, sign up to become a JayeScriber and you get access to the archives. It's free $99. You don't have to pay a dime. Just enter your email address, create a password, and you're signed up for the website and you have full access to the site. You can always follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Daniel J. Make sure you tickle my Twitter because I always love to hear what you guys have to say on Twitter. And I'm on Instagram, not every day, but I'm on there regularly enough, so you can definitely follow me on that. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next video on JayeSpotTV. Deuces, my mooses. I'm outro.
Y-O-L, Daniel J, that's my name. D-A-N-Y-O-L, Daniel J, that's my name. Get it together, say Daniel J, that's my name. Who am I listening to? Daniel J, that's my name. D-A-N-Y-O-L.
And make sure you hit up LDC by LC.com to grow your business and clientele with LDC Management. Great business starts with great management. Also hit up my girl, the Prince Be Real, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. at the Rebel HD2 UNLV student station.